Question 30 says the locations of a student's house and 2 markets are shown on this coordinate plane. Each unit represents 1 mile. To the nearest tenth of a mile, how much closer is the farmer's garden than Produce King to the student's house? All right, so we're going to work this in a couple of different steps. So we see that we've got from the student's house to Produce King here, and then I'm going to do a different color to represent from the student's house to the farmer's garden. Okay, so what I see when I look from the student's house to the Produce King is that this is a horizontal line, and therefore it's going to be really easy for me to just count and figure out the distance between the student's house and Produce King. All right, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to say from the student's house to Produce King, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 miles. Okay. If you prefer to look at your coordinates down here and use your numbers a little bit, you could see that this is 14, and it starts at 3 here. 14 minus 3 is 11. If that confuses you, just ignore it. Okay, so our next task is to figure out what the distance is between the student's house and the farmer's garden. All right, so this is a little more difficult because here we've got a diagonal line. It's not going to be easy to count that just by counting. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a right triangle. So we're going to bring a line down from the farmer's garden, and what this shows us is if he were to take a straight or a path where he goes due south and then goes due west, that's going to help us to figure out what this straighter path is, what this shorter path is. All right, so what we can do here is we are actually just going to count, just like we did a moment ago. And we're going to look and see, okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the distance, or the length of this leg is 9 miles. Here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the distance here is 5. Okay. And then this is what we're looking for. We're going to call this C, okay? I'm going to call this A and this B. And let's work it out. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 5 squared plus 9 squared equals C squared. 25 plus 81 equals C squared. 25 plus 81 is 106. All right, I'm going to find the square root of both sides, or take the square root of both sides. That's going to cancel. All right, now the square root of 106 is 10.296-ish, okay? All right, so let's look and see. We've gotten an answer here. Let's see if it's the right answer, if we need to keep going. So our final question is, to the nearest tenth of a mile, let's underline this, to the nearest tenth of a mile, how much closer is Farmer's Garden than Produce King to the student's house? So what we're doing here is we are comparing. So we're going to end up subtracting, right? So if we know that the distance from the student's house to Produce King is 11 miles, and the distance from the student's house to Farmer's Garden is 10.296 miles, we can round that to about 10.3. Let's write that here. I'm going to round a little bit to make this a little simpler. All right, we're going to say 11 miles minus 10.3 miles, and we're going to find the difference, and we're going to see that it's 0.7, or 7/10 of a mile. So our answer would be B.